It's big, it's beautiful, it's bespoke, and it sounds completely brilliant. This is my custom-made Jam Pedals multi-board, and today we're gonna go to the Jam Pedals factory in Greece and see exactly how they put this thing together from a piece of metal all the way to a piece of art. So I remember when I went to my very first NAMM and I went to the Jam booths because I just love the way Jam Pedal sounds and everything like that. And I saw they would display like all of these custom multi-boards that they were making for their customers. And each one had its own look and identity. And man, they were just so like cool and awesome to look at. And I remember thinking to myself, one day I'm gonna get my hands on one of those things. And you know what? The day has come. And when we were speccing this thing out and putting together this thing that I wanted to use as my main board for all my live shows, it came to me, you know what? Like getting these things, these crazy boards, like the Jam Pedals are, a little bit on the pricey side and, they're, a little bit of a weight to get a hold of. I thought it'd be really cool if they can film the whole process of building this board. So you could actually see what kind of work goes into it. And when the footage came in, I was absolutely blown away by how much time and love and like effort that goes into every single one of these things. So what we're going to do today is we're going to go explore exactly how to get one of these things made and exactly how it's put together. Well, the first step to getting one of these boards made does not happen at the factory. It actually happens at your computer because you can go onto the customization website and you can choose the selection of pedals you want, the order you want, any special requests. I had a ton of special requests for this particular board, and really make sure that you get all the features that you want on there. After you get all the features and all the pedals like cemented in stone in that pedal order, they'll get the team, pick the board size that's appropriate for the amount of pedals you picked, and start laying things out. And they lay things out completely by hand. So pencils and rulers, measuring things out just to make sure that there's enough room for your feet, nothing feels cramped, but you're still maximizing the space. And from there, it's the drilling, and the drilling again is done by hand, just slowly and meticulously building and chipping away at the thing till you got yourself the shell of what's going to be your board. After that, they send it to priming to give itself that nice base coat, and that's when they send it to the art department. When it came to the art, I already knew that Jam made really gorgeous boards, and whatever they would come up with was way better than anything that I would come up with personally. So I got hooked up with Katerina. She's the one that put the art direction on my board, and all I told her was I wanted something super bright, I wanted it to be super bold and colorful, and I wanted to reflect my personality and the way I played. And man, I think she really knocked it out of the park. It has this like crazy yellow submarine, trippy, like color explosion. It's just awesome. You could actually feel when you get the pedal, the brush strokes that you put it in. And man, it really came out great because every time I play this thing on stage, I don't think I've ever had a sound guy not like mention this board to the point where my bandmates are completely sick of it. Because there's so many knobs and foot switches on this board, it was important for me that each pedal was labeled and that the knobs were labeled as well. So after painting, this thing went to get stenciled, and the stencils are printed out and then spray painted by hand. One thing that I thought was just so beautiful is they even put my signature and my logo on it. And just getting all the different color layers on there, man, it just, looking at it just really makes this pedal feel like it's mine. So when the painting and all the labeling is all done, it's sent out to get that varnish on it, just that extra layer of protection to protect it against all the bumps and grinds that you're gonna get on the road. And while that's all curing, that's when the other side of the pedal board starts getting made, and that's the circuitry stuff. So all the circuit boards are populated completely by hand, and there were a couple different mods that I requested as well. I wanted 3 delay pedals, but 2 of them, I wanted them to have tap tempos that were shared. I wanted to have different subdivisions, and I wanted to be run in parallel. So they actually had to come up with a custom circuit board just to accommodate those features, because they don't make anything like that. So the board is dried, the circuit boards are made. Now we gotta put all of it together, and that's when we get to that assembly. They put the foot switches on there, they put all the different LEDs and start mounting up the circuit boards in it. Now I really like the fact that they do it like different circuit boards for different effects, because if you need to do any kind of repairs or modifications, or you just wanna swap something out, it's really, really easy to do so, while still giving you that all internalized wiring, which just makes it a little bit more, you know, tough on the road, as opposed to having all those exposed cables and power wires on the traditional style pedal board. And then they put the big old backside on it, send it out to quality control, and just like that, the multi-board is done. And in a nutshell, that is how this multi-pedal came to life. In fact, I guess that's kind of how all their pedals come to life, because they're all kind of hand-painted, hand-populated just like this. It's really crazy the amount of love and time that goes into it. I got this at the beginning of the summer, and ever since then, it's September now, I've used it on every single public performance I've done. And I'll continue to do it because it's just so light and so incredibly versatile and durable. In fact, I gave it a really solid fall right over here, and it's holding on like a champ. It's actually pretty incredible. It was a pretty nasty fall. And one question I get a lot is how much this costs. So I believe if you're gonna order like a basic custom multi-pedal, like 2 pedals on it or something, you're looking at around $500, and it depends on how many pedals you have in there. So it goes like $500 to about $2,500 for like 12 plus pedals, right? And I think they told me that this thing, if you're gonna get it retail, would be around $29. So that is kind of what you're looking at, and it takes about 2 to 3 months for these things to get built, which is really, really nuts. So that's all I got to say. Please watch my previous video that I just released last Tuesday, where I unboxed this thing, and you can see my childlike glee and joy. And please watch on Saturday, because I'm actually gonna break this thing down. I'm gonna explain to you all my pedal choices, all the mods I did to this thing, and show you why I picked them, and show you how I blend all my pedals together to get as much versatility and all the different sounds that I get for any kind of gig that I'm possibly gonna need to use this thing for. So please check that out on Saturday. That's gonna be a really, really great video. And before I go, I do wanna do a big shout out to all the people that made this thing come to life, all right? So we got Katarina, who did the artwork, Mary, who did the priming and varnishing, George, who did the layout, Lefteris, who drilled it, Tassos, who built it, George in engineering, Alex and Orestes for audio quality control, Marissa for visual quality control, Emmanuel, who's the custom shop curator, Giannis, who did the final inspection, and Ilias, which was my order liaison. He's the one that listened to all my crazy requests and found a way to make them a reality. So thank you all so much. This is definitely gonna be a big part of my rig for years to come. That being said, I'll see you all soon. Take care and goodbye.